Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. Today it's a Faymonville approach game. It is a 1 vs 1. It consists of PauL.a.D, our red Verok player, and the blue Russian player, VonAsten. And both sides are already moving out. With engineers, conscripts for the start, and 2 grenadiers for our Verok. We'll be moving on out to the right side. Gonna grab that fuel point first. The ever so precious fuel point for really both players, but so much more for the Germans, as everything seems to cost just a little bit more. And now taking the center with grenadiers at the same time. Very helpful building here, holding off with conscripts, but not gonna stop the pioneers from getting the fuel point. And we'll be done shortly. A sniper is on the way for the Russians, and some engineers coming around the side for a little bit of extra firepower. But some grenadiers are here to fire back as well. So I don't think the Russians gonna do too much here. The pioneers went off to grab this territory point. Might shoo off the grenadiers for now and take the fuel point, but don't think it's gonna last particularly long. Grenadiers have grabbed the territory points on this side, skipping the center victory point, and now going after the second fuel. And grenadiers decide to back out, a little bit outmatched with the conscripts in the building and the engineers behind the green cover, but now dually grenadiers on over here. Now they're feeling a little bit more confident. And now the sniper is on the way here to chew up some of these grenadiers. The very unfortunate 4-man groups of grenadiers. One sniper takes out one almost every shot. Unless, of course, it's retreating. Then from time to time it misses. And Grenadier is going to seek cover behind the tractor, wait for the Russian reprisal over that way. And right now, both players just working on grabbing as much territory as possible, but so far, Paul has grabbed way more territory than VonAsten. VonAsten kind of got stuck over here a little bit, dealing with the Grenadiers. Also had his engineer over there as well, while the engineer could have been out grabbing territory. It was pretty much just helping the conscripts shoo away the Grenadiers, which really didn't work too well. And now the territory point has been captured on the left, and here come the conscripts now, but going to deal with grenadiers behind excellent cover, and going to oorah forward here, going to get in front of the cover themselves. So it's going to be point blank battle here between grenadiers and conscripts. And conscripts not doing particularly well in this battle, as grenadiers just plain superior troops.
Our headquarters has been improved. We can now build light
and now additional grenadiers on over as well. 4 grenadiers for Paul, and I suspect the 222 will be coming shortly, as that's pretty much the go-to for Verok to always grab that 222. And seeing a game without it is usually somewhat of a surprise. Now the Grenadiers going to split up and grab the victory point and the munitions point, and that's going to give Paul such a huge boost. I'm going to make some sandbags at the fuel point here for the Russians to help hold that a little bit. Because why not make sandbags while you're capturing it? Got nothing better to do. Might as well build some sandbag walls. And there it be. And now going to hide behind that. Going to be a little bit difficult to take that. Sniper takes out 1 man there. Total of 3 kills on that sniper. And now running on home with the conscripts coming around the backside as well. Probably the safe bet just to get out of there for now. And now making the mechanized company for that 222 more than likely. And could be bringing out the 251, but I think the 222 is going to work pretty well in this situation. I think both would work equally well, but that 222 is just such a speed demon and jukester. And now some TM-35 mines coming down in the middle of the road, hoping for that 222 to run that over, I guess. And now the Grenadiers grabbing the territory point that nobody ever takes on this map for a while because, well, it's kind of useless. A little bit of resources, but for the most part, that's about it. And now Grenadiers here moving on in. EO blob, triple blob of them coming up on the conscripts. Conscripts with excellent cover. Take out 1 Grenadier there. And now the Grenadiers stabilized and firing. Conscripts going down super quick there. Pioneers here now moving over to the territory point. Might be able to spot that TM-35 mine from there. And if he can know where that mine is, then he can avoid that spot. And here comes the 222 now coming up. And we'll be out shortly. And we'll see what the Russian player VonAsten decides to do about that T-22. Now, he is using Partisan tactics, so he could just use tank hunters to take that out, or he could go for a T-70 himself, so it's really up to him in this. And Partisan tactics really the meta lately, and pretty much every high-end replay I've seen lately is using Partisan tactics whenever there is a Russian in there. It's just super good. You can pull out the tank hunters from anywhere, and there you go just now. And now the 222 is going to be lost, not going to make it out of there. And if it does, I'm going to be shocked and awed. And there goes the 222 with the help of the Partisan tank hunters. Can also throw those anti-tank grenades and damage the engine as well. And can also bring out regular Partisan troops. And they can also cloak as well, or camouflage, I suppose, if you will, against territory. Just pretty much put partisans on hold fire and then put them against a truck or vehicle or anywhere, and then when units come up and they're close, then you just sort of unleash the machine guns on them and you do huge damage. Paul losing a grenadier squad there in the middle, and that's going to hurt quite a bit. Grenadier squads, while somewhat cheap, you definitely want to keep them around for as long as possible. Get that veterancy, get those MG42s. And now the 251 moving along here does not quite have enough for the flame projector just yet, but the machine gun works pretty well, so why not? And in the meantime, you can just simply use it to reinforce troops. But now took a anti-tank grenade. And now just above half health on that 251. Sniper in the back there with 9 kills, 10 kills now. Wearing down that grenadier squad, forces him out of there, and now needing to get this 251 out of here. These conscripts here could rush forward, throw another anti-tank grenade, and it would be pretty low, but wouldn't take it out, so he might not take that bet. And now the Pioneers here are going to repair that on up, but unfortunately right in front of everybody, so they know exactly what they're doing, and a whole bunch more troops on the way. Those tank hunters coming as well. Tank hunter's going to get inside the building here most likely, and gonna huck that Panzerfaust at the 251 here while the Pioneers are repairing. And the 251 is now gonna have to back out of there. And still no munitions to get that flame projector, so really just using that as a reinforcement, mobile reinforcement post there. And now Grenadiers here pushing up to the edge. Multiple conscripts pushing forward. And the tank hunters inside the building as well, but only one is firing at a time, so not too much damage coming from there. Now the 251 firing away and forces the conscripts on out of there. And again, the Grenadiers just really reinforcing off this. Was 3 in that squad, now just reinforced back up to full. And Paul right now owns the map almost completely. The fuel under the Russian control, but the rest of the map and the other fuel under German control, both munitions as well. So 53 munitions per minute for the Germans right now, and that is absolutely huge. That's going to be more MG42s. That's going to mean the flame projectors sooner or later on this half track. And flame projectors are bad news bears for infantry. However, with all the tank hunters on the map and the ability to just pull them out from any building, the 251 is just going to pretty much run into trouble everywhere it goes. And now the 251's really just going to get out of there as there's some conscripts coming down the way, and they see that it was gone, so they just go ahead and get back in there. And so far, no T-70 or any tech from the Russian, so he's just going with Partisan tactics, but from what I've seen, Partisan tactics can really pretty much handle themselves for most of the game. And a minefield has been placed here right in front of the fuel point. And going to slow down the Russian approach. Going to have to bring his engineer over there. But even still, even with a mine detector, it's pretty dangerous to be inside of a minefield because of all the bombs. Anything going off in there can set those mines off and then start chaining all around and kill your infantry. And conscripts moving right up in front of 2 Grenadier squads with LMGs. And that was not a clever idea and got absolutely wrecked for it. And that 251, no, a 1-star veteran. But very, very low on HP. tank hunters tried to get that, and now a fighting position coming up for the
The new grenadier
Russians there.
squad is ready.
Grenadiers exit the house. They're going to be moving up towards the munitions point. Going to grab that back,
Our
and they've had it for
opponents are
quite some
seizing a
time,
sector.
so losing it, not that big of a deal. And now just going to probably get it back, but we have some engineers on one side and some tank hunters on the other that could challenge that. And after a good old throat clearing, I am ready to go again.
We are losing a
Engineers
sector.
picking up and running on out of there. And one of those engineers does have a mine detector, so that's only 3 men, only 2 with rifles now.
Our lines of supply are
And so
disrupted.
these grenadiers really just handling themselves and taking out these tank hunters. And I think right now VonAsten could probably use a regular partisan troop, and with some clever manipulation of the partisans, you can really do a huge amount of damage to somebody. And like I said, just camouflage them, have them on hold fire, and just sit somewhere camouflage when a unit runs by, and once it's really close on top of you, just pretty much take off hold fire and fire away. And the machine guns will wreck infantry at that close range. And here we go with 2 conscripts, Uran, right on top of these grenadiers. Grenadiers not looking in this direction right now, and going to take a lot of damage from this, and may lose this squad here, but no, he finds it and retreats. And it is quite low, getting body blocked by some of those conscripts.
The enemy is taking our territory.
And looks like the grenadier squad is lost,
We have lost a squad.
but was replaced there with a couple Ostrupan reserves. Got 2 of them, one of them with an LMG, the other one not so much. And now the Ostrupan here splitting up, going separate ways. And now 2 LMG grenadiers here firing away on those conscripts. One of them a 3-star veteran with 18 kills. And the half-track still not with the flame projector, but looks like he's just using it to go around and reinforce his troops, which is totally a viable option. And now some pioneers here making a minefield. And right on the victory point there. And I'm going to give the Russians a somewhat hard time. Here comes some engineers with mine detectors now. Going to clear up this area here.
The enemy is attempting to steal
And now
our
conscripts
sector.
have taken the city house here. Kind of looks like a civic building. Who knows? But conscripts going to give these grenadiers a hard time inside this large building, but down to 4 men. And lowering here pretty quickly. Ostrupan inside the building, holding out against the tank hunters. And we have track coming around the side here. Knows that the engineers are over there meddling with the German equipment. Conscript moving here, taking out a couple of the mines along with them.
Enemy forces
And
are
losing some
securing
troops.
our territory.
Grenadiers need to move over to the field point, grab that. And now the Russian in almost full retreat. The majority of his forces all retreating away. Down to 3 men there. Almost ran over more mines on the way out. And Ostrupan here trying to get away. Loses Ostrupan. And many actual squads lost for PauL.a.D, although he does seem to be winning the game by quite a margin. 242 for the Russian, 499 for the Germans. But he certainly has lost more whole squads than VonAsten. But in terms of troop loss, I think VonAsten may have lost more overall, but just seems to retreat away in a more appropriate manner. And Grenadiers unable to take that territory point there. Sniper still going about 30 kills on this Russian sniper. And now the field point here being taken by the Germans once again. And Russian conscript blob with some engineers moving up on the Ostrupan, but 2 grenadiers here now firing away LMGs. And there goes a rifle grenade and does a little bit of damage. Could have been better, but could have been worse. Damage the majority of the squad. Will force the retreat here shortly and may lose this conscript squad down to 1 man and loses that squad. And that was a 2 or 3-star conscript squad. So a fair loss there for VonAsten. And tank hunters here are going to be firing on the half-track and or the command tank. Throws a anti-tank grenade. It damages the engine after a Panzerschreck hit. And now we're going to have to repair that Panzer IV back on up before it is officially combat ready again, although its turret works just fine for now. Pioneers have completed the minefield once again over there, so we're going to have to re-clear that. And now the conscripts are going to deal with the Pioneers coming on them, but Grenadiers and the 251 behind them forces them out of there again. And now a Su-76 is out on the field, finally tiered up a little bit, and that Su-76 coming out, it is very upset. And I'm not sure if it sees the infantry or what. And now going to be barraging the Grenadiers here. Stopped the barrage, canceled it for now, and is now moving in a little bit more. And might be able to get a shot on that 251, but nope, didn't quite have the sight to do that. Grenadiers retreating there. Almost got the munitions point from the Russians. And now 157 to 499. And now with the Su-76, the Russians have some pretty decent anti-tank power, along with the tank hunters as well. And assault gun here firing at the ground, trying to get random mines cleared. Clear some additional mines there. Meanwhile, the Pioneers grabbing the engineers, rather, grabbing the victory point. And Grenadiers firing away at the engineers here. Going to have to take back that center victory point. The Russians taking the right side victory point as well. So now they're going to be back in the game. Going to start chipping away at that German score. And tank gunners grabbing the fuel point, holding off the building there. And here comes the unfortunate Panzer IV now, going to get hit by a Panzerschreck pretty much immediately. And takes a shot to the frontal armor, connects, does a little bit of damage there. And the half track now moving up as well. Has 90 for that flame projector, but I'm not sure if he intends to get that flame projector at all. It might just be using it for the reinforcement. And the barrage of the Su-76 here, and those Grenadiers were in trouble. And RNG states that they would have taken a direct shot sooner or later. 251 takes an anti-tank grenade and may not make it out of here. And looks like the conscript's going to throw an anti-tank grenade as well. That will finish it off. And almost made 2-star veterancy for a second there. And a Puma now out on the field. Puma going after the Su-76, trying to get that down. But conscripts here going to throw an anti-tank grenade and going to damage the engine of it. May lose this Puma. Definitely going to lose this Puma. And that was a very hasty decision to go after that Su-76, knowing that there's tank hunters and conscripts out on the map with anti-tank rifles, or anti-tank grenades rather.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
And tank hunters run across all kinds of mines, nearly wipes the squad. The tank hunters in this building, a huge threat to the Germans right now. And right now, Paul is on the retreat.
We are losing a sector.
And that's going to allow a lot of time for VonAsten here to span out and grab the majority of the map. Does have the majority of the right side of the map and the center.
The enemy has broken our supply lines.
But the left side still remains relatively uncontested, actually uncontested, and nobody is over there. And conscript running over all kinds of mines here, forces them out of there. And Grenadiers here in trouble, may lose the squad, and throws a rifle grenade on the tank hunters, but they juke out in time, and the Grenadier here very, very, very low, but will make it home in time. And now Ostrupen subject to the barrage here, and if he just moves up just a scotch, he will not risk being hit by that Su-76. Panzer IV coming up again, but going to get hit by another Panzerschreck. Man, those tank hunters absolutely have to go, as they are causing a world of trouble for the Germans right now. And now multiple tank hunters here moving on up. 3 total tank hunters for the Russians. Another sniper is out of the way as well. And the Ostrupen have successfully taken the center victory point. And engineers moving out, going to grab some more territory here as well for the Germans. And this Panzer IV is just in pretty bad shape. score. 123 for the Russians, 479 for the Germans. And now the Grenadiers actually really have to watch out. They're in their own minefield, and one of these Panzerschrecks can set off mines.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
And now they're standing right on top of mines here. And there they go. They missed the mines, but the conscripts decide to set them all off themselves, because why not? And now running on out of here, and nearly loses the squad again. 2 mines, and ran over a final one, but didn't lose the squad, and it was very, very low. So that's surprising that he didn't lose that. A Panzerschreck is on the ground here from a tank hunter, and he should probably grab that with that Grenadier, but now he can't, and loses the whole squad, and the potential Panzerschreck there as well. It looks like these tank hunters may come down and grab that instead, or maybe even these conscripts. And it looks like he's going to do just that. Now it's conscripts with a Panzerschreck, which is a pretty brutal sight considering they have the anti-tank grenades and can slow the vehicle and then Shrek it down, or Shrek it first. And that will lower the health enough for the anti-tank grenade to damage the engine. And now tank hunter is going to be grabbing the fuel point, and the Panzer IV command tank still not fully repaired. Doesn't look like he really has the time to sit around and fully repair that. And so far this command tank really hasn't paid off for him all that much.
We have a fresh Grenadier squad.
So it only has 5 kills, and really was set back by quite a bit by those tank hunters up here. It just kept going and going, and not taking too much damage there. Lost trooping here in a bad spot, and they have to retreat. They have to run past these tank hunters, though, which shouldn't lose the squad. And tank hunters run over mines there, lose the majority of the squad.
Enemy is down to 75 points. You need something?
Partisans now officially shooed away from the fuel, but they did grab it, so now the Germans are going to have to stand around and retake that. And sniper up to 4 kills with its new sniper. Got a Grenadier there, and the barrage from the Su-76 forces the Germans to move over to the side, but doesn't force them off entirely. Double LMG 42s here, shoo away the conscripts. Not going to grab the munitions point. And finally, some conscripts move over to the far left side of the map.
Enemy forces are
And we'll start taking some of this territory here instead. And the 2 partisan tank hunters here, very, very low. Didn't even bother reinforcing them. Not sure if he forgot to reinforce them or what. They are camouflaged, and as you can see, they camouflage, and as long as you hold position, they don't fire and give away their position unless something is very, very close to them. And got off a shot there on that Panzer IV. Panzer IV really needs to get out of there. That Su-76 firing away, but the Su-76 backs up from the Pioneers. And conscripts have successfully taken the left side victory point there, and engineers coming to the fuel point, and these conscripts here can grab the munitions point and take that from the Germans. And now engine damage from the anti-tank grenade. And now the vehicle has been marked. And will go down here to the conscripts. One more shot from that Panzerschreck if they can stand long enough to do it, but they retreat and loses a squad. And the Panzer IV survives that, but then is promptly taken out by the Su-76. But well done there for taking out that conscript squad and forcing them to move about instead of being able to fire that Panzerschreck. Barrage now hitting the Marines. Well, Grenadiers, they could be Marines kind of technically. And Grenadiers forced on out of there. And now new Panzer IV is summoned to the field and is taking some shots there from the Su-76. here comes a force of Pioneers to run out of there. Engine damage on the Panzer IV now. And are we going to see a Panzerfaust? Panzerfaust on the way to the SU-76. SU-76 engine damaged. The Panzer IV trying to get out of there. And it looks like maybe a ground fire there to try and get a wild shot off on that Panzer IV. One more hit would have taken it out, but missed it. And now the SU-76 forced to crawl on back home. And now regular Partisan troops finally out of the field. And now more sandbags coming down for the conscripts to hold this victory point at all costs. And the Puma just really out to deal with that SU-76, maybe a T-34 on the way. No, a T-70 on the way. And didn't see that he had not made an additional tier yet. Now the Germans really on the left side of the map, and all it's going to take is the Osttruppen to come over there and grab that left side victory point, and the Germans will be back in the game once again. So right now 55 to 474. Panzer IV now being repaired on up, but the Pioneers missing a man from each squad. And not much manpower on either side to go around. But both sides have a decent amount of fuel, just not enough manpower to really use it. And Partisans run on home away from the Grenadiers. And center held fairly well here by the conscripts for now, along with the tank hunters, to try and stall the tank from moving on up there. And they're making a bold move here going forward. They're going to try and take this territory point from the Germans now as well. Puma firing away on it, but not too much of an issue. And now the 270 is out of the field here. And Panzerfaust is going to be a long-range Panzerfaust. And damages the engine of the 270. And there goes an anti-tank grenade, but the Panzer IV was at full health, so it didn't quite damage the engine. And the SU-76 here tried to ground fire through the smoke, trying to hit that Puma, and decided to just move forward and go after it instead. And is anything going to come up there and try and save it? Another Puma is on the field here and moving forward, but it was not in time. And now the Panzer IV command tank here is being repaired up. And SU-76 barrage hits a ton of Grenadiers and does huge damage, and all those Grenadiers are forced out of there. He really wanted the Panzerfaust that T-70 a couple times and finish it off. And the SU-76 finished off by the Puma there. Really good. And VonAsten GG's out with the loss of his 3-star SU-76. So well played by Paul, well played by VonAsten as well. Both very excellent players. And this time around, just got outplayed. And I think some partisans, some regular partisans, would have done him a world of good earlier on in the game. Not sure if it would have changed the game, but I think it would have definitely did a world of difference. Again, you can just pretty much have have them sitting around somewhere in an important area, and then as soon as the Grenadiers actually go by, then you just hold fire up, and the PPSH really just eats through the Grenadiers, or you can throw a grenade to get yourself out of hold fire, and then start firing. And so a grenade goes off at the same time that your submachine guns go off, and a world of damage occurs from that. So Partisan's really effective. Not so good this game, but I hope you guys enjoyed the replay, and I will see you guys next time.